I want to congratulate you for clicking on this video because the advice that I'm about to share with you might just give you a very, very good perspective as to what you need to focus on right now to stop struggling with procrastination, to stop struggling with bad habits, and finally get the work that you're trying to get done. If you've been struggling with, I don't know, studying, working on your business, working on your fitness, health, your nutrition, whatever it is that requires time and requires a certain amount or degree of focus, and you've been struggling with maintaining that focus throughout the day because of the distractions of the procrastination, then I think that the perspective I'm about to show you might really help you because I've been struggling with this recently as well. I would simply pick up my phone and start scrolling, start playing some silly video game, and instead of just doing the work that I need to get done. And I just realized that it used to not be this way. Before, I remember that I would have very productive long working sessions, and I just try to kind of analyze as to why I would be able to work 5 hours of deep work, no breaks, no nothing, no YouTube, just simply sitting there on my laptop working on my online business, which would not be fun work, which would be boring work, but I would still be able to just dedicate 5 hours of focus without any effort. Even when I was younger, when I was like 16 or like 15, which I'm 17 right now, and I just realized that I'm kind of losing it a little bit. I'm going backwards, and I really want to stop this. And I went ahead and I analyzed what I would do in the past that worked so well for me, and what I need to be doing right now. And I think that you will really, really find this valuable because honestly, this is a problem that loads of people struggle with. And if you can just simply get control of yourself, of what you do, you're gonna outcompete most people. Most people are so, you know, just stuck in their daily routines, in their daily bad habits, in these bad cycles where they're feeling bad, they're looking for an addiction as an escape. They indulge in it, and they feel even worse after just indulging in the bad addiction, and then they just keep repeating it over and over and over again. The cycle just goes on and on and on, and the sooner you can quit and go away from that cycle, the sooner you will start winning. Most people will never quit from that cycle. Most people are gonna destroy their lives that way, especially when the technology is on the rise and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. But yeah, anyways, let's just get right into the advice because I know that's what you came for. And when I analyzed as to what I would do in the past and what I'm doing right now that isn't working for me, I realized that in the past, the reason as to why I was able to focus on my on my work so well, why I would be able to just have long, long working sessions, is because I was okay with being bored. I was okay with simply not having anything to do or just feeling completely bored but still doing something. And I realized that these days, I don't do something unless I make it fun, unless I make it that I get dopamine from that thing, unless I play music, unless I really, really am motivated for it. And I realized that it's just simple boredom that I need to implement back into my life. If I can just practice more boredom every single day, if I can just be okay sitting there on a chair, not doing anything, not looking for a phone, not looking for any music, eating my meals without scrolling or watching YouTube, I know that I will just build up the resistance and I will be able to just have longer working sessions without any struggle. The sooner you can make boredom your best friend, the sooner you will start seeing success. Most people are simply struggling because they they have too much dopamine every single day. They have sources of dopamine which do not even compare to the amount of dopamine that they get from doing the work that they want to get done. Even though they do want it, they do feel very, very good after getting it done. But it's simply the the other source of dopamine, like watching YouTube, scrolling. I don't know whatever else people get dopamine from. Perhaps smoking or alcohol or whatever. These things really, really mess up your dopamine system, and then you are always seeking some sort of entertainment, music, conversations. If you take a look at your days, you probably don't spend a lot of time in silence. Probably it's hard to even think of a moment where you've been in silence. Perhaps you even go on walks listening to music or podcasts. Perhaps even when you're home, if you're not talking to someone, then you're watching a podcast, a YouTube video, listening to something. And I'm not necessarily saying that these things are bad, but there needs to be balance. You need to also have a couple of hours a day. Even a couple of hours a day would be awesome. Or you just simply don't have any exposure to any sound at all. It's simply you sitting in the quiet, just getting used to being bored. Boredom is the biggest superpower, which sounds really boring. It sounds boring that you don't need some sort of technique, or that you don't need some sort of a tool to some sort of a substance to be able to focus. No, you just simply need boredom. The more boredom you can get into your life, the less boredom you'll feel when you actually are doing something. When you're doing nothing and you're feeling comfortable, how will you feel when you're actually doing something? When you're working on your business, when you're studying, when you're going to work out, you won't be procrastinating as much because you are okay with being bored. And when you're okay with being bored, you'll be happy doing something which is not as boring. So the biggest advice I can give you is simply start to get accustomed to boredom. Just make boredom your friend. If you ever feel bored, simply catch yourself and say, okay, perfect, perfect. This is the state that I want to be in. Let's just do some reps. Let's just practice this. It's the same as going to the gym where you do a couple of reps, you know? So you just find yourself, okay, I'm really bored. I wanna take my phone. Okay, I catch myself, and then you just simply force yourself to sit there and think of nothing. Just, just sit there, perhaps observe the things around you, be very calm. Don't try to indulge in too many thoughts. Just simply sit there and think. When you will be able to get accustomed to that, um, most of your problems will go away. That's like a very very solid base. You will be building a very very solid base, and then you can build on top of it. Once you just have all of the sorted, then you can see how you can optimize your working sessions, your everything. The nitty gritty. But if you don't have the ability to stay in bored states for long periods of time, then everything else will not work long term. You might perhaps find some motivation or some technique that might work and give you some results in the short term, but in the long term, what you do want is simply the ability to save yourself with your own thoughts, being okay with being bored. So I really hope this helps. If you watched this video so far, you've already been practicing boredom because this video was pretty boring. No edits. I was speaking in a monotonous voice. There wasn't too much dopamine to get from this video. And if you're actually watching more videos like these, um you're already doing a good job. You're practicing boredom, especially if you're watching them on full screen and you're not engaging in any other stuff. I highly recommend, if you're going to be watching YouTube, if you want to learn something, if you have some sort of a problem, perhaps even if you're going to be scrolling through some more of my videos, simply put those videos on full screen and just make sure that those videos are not giving you too much dopamine. Perhaps they're just simply someone talking in front of the camera, giving you good advice, no music, no nothing, just like I'm doing. So, if you want to practice some of that dopamine resistance, some of that boredom, you can check out some of my other videos. You can look at the title and see perhaps there's a topic that would help you. And if not, I still hope you start practicing it every single day in your day to day life, these daily boring situations when you're in a shop, waiting in the line, no scrolling, when you're walking, no podcasts, no music. Look at the birds chirping, look at the sun, look at the clouds. Start being accustomed to boredom, and if you stay in boredom long enough, it won't be as boring because you will be able to find so many things inside of boredom that are actually pretty damn interesting and not boring. Your mind is a very very powerful tool, and if you start observing the thoughts that are flowing in instead of just blocking them out, engaging in some sort of a distraction, you will see loads of progress. You will be feeling well. You will discover new things. You will start thinking in new ways. You will be able to solve problems so much faster just because you're giving yourself the time to think, because you're getting comfortable being bored. So I really hope this helps. I really hope you take action. You didn't just procrastinate, because yeah, you already done a very, very good job watching this video till the end. So if you can just keep this up and you can just practice more of the boredom in your day-to-day life, you will be successful. Thank you for watching. God bless you.